Hello friends, my name is Zachary Stockill from retroactivejealousy.com, and in today's video I'm going to answer a viewer email from a retroactive jealousy sufferer who's worried that his partner had sex in the house that he now shares with her. If you've been benefiting from the videos on my channel, if you've been benefiting from my work in general, please take a moment to let me know by leaving a comment beneath this video, being sure you click the like button, and if you haven't already, please be sure to click the subscribe button as well so you can be notified of new videos every time they come out. Okay, viewer email / comment from someone we'll call B. B asks, how do I stop thinking that my partner had sex with other people in the house that we share? Okay, B, the first thing I will tell you is I don't believe that there's a shortcut solution to this problem. In other words, this is basically part and parcel of the broader experience of retroactive jealousy. And I think trying to just solve this problem and don't worry about the rest of the work, shall we call it, involved in retroactive jealousy, it's probably not going to be productive over the long haul. All of this is to say that this is part of a broader pattern, I'm sure, in your life. I'm sure the issue is not just the fact that your partner had sex in this house. And so all of the advice I offer about overcoming retroactive jealousy on this channel, in my books, in my premium online courses, you can find details about all that stuff beneath this video. But basically all of this knowledge, all of this information, all these techniques and strategies and perspectives and practices, exercises, it's all going to be valuable to you. So don't try to take an easy way out to this problem, I would say. Be sure that solving this problem is part of a broader commitment to overcoming retroactive jealousy more generally. That said, I understand where you're coming from because this is a problem that plagues many retroactive jealousy sufferers, where there are some physical or location triggers that can't help but remind them of their partner's past. Now, the obvious solution is to move. No, I'm kidding. That's probably not a practical solution. It can feel tempting in the moment, I'm sure, to simply pack your bags, say, honey, we're moving, and to leave town or leave that house. But I'm guessing that's probably not an option for you. And by the way, even if you did pursue that option, that's actually not going to solve your problem either. At least not over the long term. So that's worth keeping in mind as well. So my first suggestion, aside from all that preamble, is to start telling yourself a different story about this house. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's very likely that right now you're telling yourself a certain story about this house that you share. Maybe you walk past a certain room, or you go to bed at night and you think, oh, my partner had sex with her ex in this bed, or I wonder if they had sex on that table, or I wonder if they did something here, or whatever it is. You're telling yourself a certain story. And maybe you're telling yourself that, they had amazing sex and they had great sex and they had sex all the time, or whatever it is. You're telling yourself a certain narrative about this house, I would imagine, that isn't likely serving you. And that sure as hell probably isn't serving your partner either. So, a different story. For example, you could start telling yourself, and really be conscious about this, by the way. I don't just mean this in this kind of fluffy, abstract way. I mean literally repeat these phrases in your head or come up with your own phrases that are personally meaningful to you. But you can start telling yourself a different story, such as, this was the house where my girlfriend learned that I'm the best man for her. This was the house where my girlfriend had the best sex of her life with me. This is the house where my girlfriend really realized that I'm different from all the other men out there and that she truly knows. This is the house where she realized that I'm really the best match for her. These are just examples, and I want to stress that it's very important for you, B, and for anyone else watching this, that whichever story you're telling yourself, whichever, phrases or quotes that you're coming up with to tell yourself about this house, kind of reframing it, they should be personally meaningful to you, and they shouldn't be completely fatuous. They shouldn't be completely untrue. They should be based in truth, but basically, try to think of the most charitable story that you could be telling yourself. What's the most charitable interpretation of your partner's feelings for you, of what you've experienced with your partner in this house? You can get creative there. Don't stray too far from the truth, but get creative and tell yourself the most charitable interpretation of events, the most charitable story that you could be telling yourself about your relationship with your partner in this house. It's also worthwhile, this can be tricky depending on your partner, but it can also be worthwhile to actually change up the physical space a little bit. And this doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to be, overhauling your entire bedroom or anything like that. But another example that I've used in the past, this is going to sound strange to some people, but bear with me, it helped me. For example, in the past, when I was going through a breakup, I remember one breakup in particular, I literally just changed all my sheets to the completely different color. I think if memory serves, I went from everything was white in my bed, and all of a sudden I just bought black everything. Black sheets, black comforter, black pillowcases, etc., etc. Didn't cost me that much money, and it's worthwhile to sort of change the dynamic of the room, change the feeling of the room, change some of the psychological anchors in the room. You know, our brains are plastic, and as I often talk about on this channel and in my online courses and in my books, we actually have the ability to rewire our brains to a considerable extent. And when we change our physical environment in any way, this can really help in changing some of our associations, sometimes changing some of our responses, changing some of our feelings based on wherever we are, you know, based in any room in the house. So this is it can be an interesting option to literally change the space in some way. It doesn't have to cost you a bunch of money. You don't have to, you know, spend your life savings at IKEA or anything like that. But really get creative and think of some ways you could actually change the physical location that you share with your partner, obviously, as long as it's okay with them. Another note, I wouldn't necessarily tell your partner that I'm changing, you know, I want to make some changes because I'm tired of thinking about your ex and all the rest. You can tell them if you want, but I would suggest, just personally speaking, I would suggest just say, you know what, it'd be good to change the vibe in here, change the energy, change is good, and just, you know, share the idea with them and see what they think. Another suggestion is to consciously start creating new memories in this house that you share with your partner. You know, get crazy and have sex in a room that you've never had sex in before. Maybe start doing different things with your partner in different rooms in the house, not just sexually, but in general. You know, you can get creative with this as well. The point is to start changing the meaning of this house and sort of imbuing the house with fresh energy, fresh memories, fresh experiences that will hopefully help you break some of the associations that you might be painting in your mind between this house and your partner's ex. But most importantly, B, if you take away nothing else from this video, I really hope you approach this as a personal development challenge and as a challenge that you certainly have the power to power through. I hope you make the real commitment to beating retroactive jealousy for good. And if you put in the work and you stay committed and you really take it seriously, sooner or later, believe it or not, this won't be an issue anymore. And you'll, you know, rest your head on your pillow at night with no concerns about your partner's past in the house or anything like that. It might feel impossible right now, but I promise you, if you put in the work, good things will come. If you put in the work, sooner or later, this won't be an issue for you anymore. Thank you, B, for your email, and thank you to anyone watching this for your viewership. If you got anything out of this video, please take a moment to let me know by leaving a comment below. Make sure you hit the like button as well. And if you wouldn't mind, also make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you can be notified of new videos every time they come out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.